Hello, welcome to Tales from the Coping.
This is a podcast about skating, shenanigans, and life. I'm Kate.
And I'm Lynette.
This is episode 4, Have Skates, Will Travel.
First, as we start this episode, we want to give a shout out to Old Bones Therapy.
Yes.
Thank you, Brandon, for sending us.
Yeah, thank you for the rad dad shirts.
And the mugs.
Yes.
So good. I have my tea in here right now.
Delicious.
And we have banners.
Yes.
We have a bigger banner, but
it doesn't fit.
Our wall here is
finally complete.
Kind of full.
Yeah. That's all right. We're going to see if maybe Scott will let us hang it up at HVR, which would be pretty cool. Get you some representation out at the vert ramp. So,
because it is a pretty big banner.
Mm-hmm.
But it's pretty. I like it. It's
pretty.
red.
You like red?
I do like red.
It's your favorite color. Some happenings at the ramp lately. We had a chair saga going on. So in our first couple episodes, we talked about how Lynette is Sheldon Cooper and she has a specific spot that she likes to sit in. And she has a chair, plastic Adirondack chair that's turquoise that she loves to sit in.
We even put a Tales from the Coping sticker on it.
We did.
Everybody knows that it is my chair.
It is Lynette's chair. The guys decided to play keep away from Lynette. And I have video that I'll get her to splice in. Basically, they took turns playing keep away from Lynette, and Mike took it off of the property, like outside of the gate. And then Lynette ran after him, and then Cody ran after her, and Richard and I kind of sat back and we were like, yeah, we're not going to run, so we'll just wait for them to come back.
Toby even got in.
Yeah, Toby ran.
Got in on the action.
Yep, it was pretty funny. So
I also spilled Mike's beer.
Yes.
In that whole saga.
I feel like we always make fun of Mike that, oh, you keep spilling everybody's beer. But half the time, it is his beer that gets spilled. That he doesn't.
It's always his beer that gets spilled. The thing is that half the time somebody else spills his beer.
It just seems like he's the one spilling all the time. So. Anyway,
Max has spilled his beer. Cody spilled his beer.
Mm-hmm.
Max has spilled his beer more
Toby
than once.
did it one time. Toby ran into it one time. Because he runs back and forth when they skate on the ramp. And he got really excited one time and knocked it over toward the end.
I spilled his beer when he took off with my chair.
Mm-hmm.
He put his beer on the street and then was trying to throw the chair over the fence.
Yes.
And so I grabbed his beer and took off with it. And I forget how it got spilled, but half of it got spilled.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We also had a bench standoff. So again, you don't sit in Lynette's spot on the bench. And Mike decided to sit on the bench and Lynette tried to physically pull him out of the spot. It was pretty funny.
I did manhandle him pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't think he realized that I was that strong. I was wearing skates too.
You were wearing skates and you pulled him off the bench. Yeah. He was just like, there's a whole bench. And you were like, that's my spot. I have to sit there. It was just too funny. I don't think Mike thought it was funny, but it was funny looking in, so.
Yeah, I don't think he thought it was funny at the time. I thought it was great, though, that I could lift him like that.
Skating makes you strong, so you had a lot of power in your legs to pull him off the bench.
March Meltdown, which was an awesome event. I am Johnny Hash. Great job. Thank you. That was an amazing event. We had so much fun. It felt like a demo for the Houston Vert Skaters.
Yes.
And we were in a Tony Hawk Pro Series game. They had live bands, and we were skating literally behind the live band. The live band was on the deck where we normally sit. They had it all blocked off so that the skateboards couldn't hit them, and then we would drop in right behind the band, so all of the crowd could see the band and us in the background just skating. Mm-hmm. It was pretty awesome.
To me, it felt like a teeny tiny Banger in the Hangar. It was like for last year's Banger in the Hangar, that was the first time that both of us got to skate. I was just terrified because I had never skated in front of more than like 8 people. So I was really nervous, and so I didn't really do a whole lot. I just, mainly my goal was like just drop in and just be on the ramp in front of people, which I achieved that. And I did some tricks, but I was just scared the whole time. The March Meltdown, I think because I had done Banger in the Hangar, this felt like it was nothing. I mean, there were still quite a few people out there, but I was more comfortable. I'm a better skater now than I was in November. So I felt more confident. I think that made a big difference. It also hypes me up for, hey, I can't wait for Banger in the Hangar because it'll feel like this, just more people.
I'm hoping that he does another Go Skate Day out there, because that's like another mini Banger, which would be great for getting us ready for Banger.
Mm-hmm.
The same way March Meltdown did. That was one of the good things too at March Meltdown, is because we were skating with all of the people that we're used to skating with, and so they do know that we take a little while to set up.
Mm-hmm.
Plus it gave us the opportunity, like everybody was getting tired. I mean, we were out there skating for 6-8 hours.
And we still did our handstands at the end. I'm sure everybody watching, like the bands and stuff, they're like, why are those people, what are they doing now? You know, because we had all geared down and we were doing handstands. It was fun. I started learning judo kicks, which the first night I think I had beginner's luck because I wasn't thinking about it. I just was trying it. And I was like full send, which is a big deal for me because I don't usually full send things. It turned out pretty okay. The second night I tried them, I started overthinking a little bit, but it was still like enough that I could save it. You know, my leg kicking out wasn't as straight, but it still was decent. And that was the night that Pat was there taking pictures. So my pictures look a little wonky, but whatever.
Did he get any pictures of your judo?
Yeah, they're just not very pretty, so I didn't post any of them. I look like a frog, like my leg's all weird. The third night I tried them, that was when my brain glitched out in the middle of the trick. I only landed on one foot and I couldn't save it, and so I ended up taking it pretty hard bail. So I made one of those dumb ways to die reels out of it. That turned out to be kind of funny, but literally it was like, my face was like, I'm fine, this is fine, this is fine. Oh, shit. So.
Today, we want to talk about traveling. And we're going to start with talking about where we've been.
Yes.
Do you want to tell us where you've been, Kate?
Skate trips. Yes. So
skate trips, not castles.
So last year was my healing year, my big yes energy year. I told my son, I said, if we have the time and the money, we're going to do all of the things. We're making up for last time because for several years we couldn't travel or go on vacation or anything really because my late husband couldn't travel. And so it was kind of like, okay, we'll take this year to kind of like decompress, de-stress, just have fun. I did go to Moxie Skate Camp West. Lynette went too. And that was really fun. That was my first like official skate adventure that I had ever been on. The years before when I started park skating, I couldn't really, you know, we had done a couple of road trips with CIB Houston as far as like Houston would go out to Austin or Houston would go out to College Station. And I could never go on any of those trips. So that was my first like big trip to go on, and it was really fun, really exciting. It was really neat because I got to meet some of the Dallas girls.
Which is crazy because we live in Houston,
right,
and they're in Dallas. It's only a 3-hour drive. Mm-hmm. From your place, it's 3. From mine, it's probably 4.
I was going to say also the speed you drive, it's probably 3. But if you go the speed limit, it's about 4.
The point is, it's really close. The first time we met any of those, like Maria and Brittany, and I forget who else was there. There was like 3 or 4 of them that were there. And the first time we meet them is going to Woodward West,
California.
That's a 3-hour, 4-hour plane ride, and then another 2-hour drive.
Yeah, it's 1,500 miles away,
as opposed to 250.
But it was fun. There's literally everything you want to skate is there. They have mini ramps, and they have a vert ramp, and they have all sorts of cool stuff.
They have 2 vert ramps because they have the animal chin, which is 11 and a half feet.
11 or 11 and a half, yeah.
And then they have a true vert ramp, which is, it's either 13 or 14. I'm not
To
exactly
me, it felt
sure.
taller, but it could have been the change in altitude. So that was a funny thing. We forget that here in Houston, we're below sea level. So we go anywhere and it's a higher altitude. we got to Woodward West,
Which is in the top of the mountains.
so it's already more elevated than, say, if you go to LA. And she and I decided we wanted to mostly skate the vert ramp that weekend. We were going to do a couple other classes here and there, but mostly it was like, this is where we want to be because we're both skating vert on the regular. Like, this is what we want to do. And I had just started skating vert in February, and Moxie camp was at the end of April. So I'd only been maybe like a month and a half in. The first day we were there, it was like an acclimation day because we were barely pumping hard on the ramp, and we were like, oh wow, this is so tiring.
Yeah, we couldn't breathe. It was because the air is so thin, we just couldn't breathe. It was a shock. It was a shock to the system. I was not expecting that at all.
I wasn't either, because I didn't think about it. And then we got there, and I'm like, why is this so hard? Why? And I was like, oh, mountains. Oh. So then after that, we were like, okay. So we just upped our hydration to kind of help get us acclimated to the altitude faster. But it was just really funny that first day. It was like, why do we feel so old? Why is this so hard?
Yeah, and my feet were cramping because of the altitude, and then the fact that we weren't hydrating as much. My feet were cramping, my calves were cramping, my quads were like, everything was cramping that first night.
Also, just kind of like routing back to our previous episode talking about being old, camp beds. Okay, we talked about how, I need like 3 or 4 strategically placed pillows to stay comfortable. Oh my gosh. It was like a typical, like cabins with bunk beds. I didn't think about that either. And it was like, we had a sleeping bag and pillow. But holy crap, the next day, I was like, I'm not sore from skating. I'm sore from sleeping in this camp bed. Like, my back was killing me. It was bad.
You actually said that, too.
I did. I was like, oh my God.
I remember.
Yeah.
I was like...
She was laughing at me about that.
I had no problem with the camp bed, but I also sleep in a pretty firm mattress. So.
See, I don't. I like a soft mattress. So I actually have a select comfort bed, and my number's 35. So, yeah, so I was not prepared for that either. I didn't think about that. They also had a launch ramp with an airbag. The airbag was really fun. And there was a resi ramp right next to it. So, like, we took a class for gainers, right? Well, it was kind of Baranis and gainers, which a Barani is basically an aerial, like if you're cartwheeling out of a bowl, like an aerial is a cartwheel with no hands. So, and then a gainer is a backflip, but you are moving forward. So you go down a launch ramp and then you hit the ramp to go up to the airbag, and as you're moving in the air, you're backflipping. Which is
that
cool.
Scares me more than
that was
anything else.
See, that's
I can't wrap my mind around doing that.
Yeah.
I'm like, this does not know.
I said, like, flipping backwards freaks me out on a ramp. For some reason, I guess it's because I was going in a forward motion. Like, my gymnastics training kicked right back in, and I was just like, oh yeah, I know how to do this. I mean, because quite literally, like, they teach you in stages. First, you just ride the ramp up and you learn, like, how it feels to go down and hit the launch ramp up and then land on the airbag, right? And then once you're comfortable with that, now when you're going to do it, you're basically going to do like a Christ air, but point your belly button to the ceiling, and you're going to land on your back. And then once you're comfortable with that, once you're going up the ramp and you launch in the air, you make that T position, and then you immediately tuck and like look behind you, and it'll flip you over. So learning it in stages was nice because it was like, okay, I can do the one thing. And then I got used to that. And then it was like, okay, now I can add the second thing in and get used to that. And a lot of tricks, I feel, if you're going to do like a big trick, there are a lot of little tricks that feed into that big trick. A lot of times people get injured because they can't do the small pieces of a trick that lead into the big trick. And then that's why they're not prepared and they can't, recover from that. So as long as if you're going to try something big, make sure you can do all the little pieces, break it down.
When I teach lessons, that's what I do. Sometimes people book a lesson with me to learn like a specific trick, Miller flips, cartwheels, whatever, and I do break it down into each little thing. sometimes they're like, why am I doing this? Well, you're doing this because this is the very first thing you need to know before you start to really get into there. Because you've got to feel what this feels like, and then you have to feel what this feels like, and then you have to feel what this and that together feels like, and then we can get into the full trick. So it keeps you from getting hurt, and it gives you the feeling of the trick you're doing.
It's the Karate Kid strategy, right?
Wax on.
Wax off, paint the fence, you know? You learn all of the motions, and then you put it together in the big thing. So,
Exactly.
Mr. Miyagi. You just Mr. Miyagi.
So homework for everybody. Watch Karate Kid.
The original, not the remake.
The original.
The original's the best one. But
30
yes.
ramp.
30 ramp.
30 ramp.
Yes, that's in Little Rock, Arkansas.
Little Rock, Arkansas. They also have Canis Park. They have Riverside Park too. Actually, Riverside Park is pretty interesting. They have a very interesting bowl. I don't think we went and skated there when we went.
We just went to Canis and 30 ramp.
Canis is really cool because Canis has a DIY section, a section that the city built, an old pool that has been converted into a skating pool, and then it has a mini ramp in the very back. And they just started building this other skate pool that's really tiny. It's really tight and really small.
And it wasn't finished when we went, so we couldn't try it out.
I think they did some sort of competition on that thing before we went, though. Like, it still wasn't finished, but they wrote it anyway. But Canis is a really cool park.
It's concrete.
If you go to Little Rock, definitely stop in at Canis. It's Kanis. It's a really cool park. And then there's 30 ramp, which is a vert ramp, 10 feet tall. It's very fast. It will shoot you. They have a 2-foot channel, 1 foot of vert. And then he has a mini ramp in there also. It's in a it's not a hangar. It's kind of like a warehouse. And he has a little street section in there, a little mini ramp, and then the vert ramp.
We road tripped that one. Lynette drove. Her dad and her brother live in Little Rock. Mike and Cody went in their truck. We went in Lynette's car, and then Max rode with us. Cheese rode with us in the back. When we first got to your dad's house, we unloaded, and Mike and Cody were like, we're going to the ramp. They want, because they wanted to go feel it out. We're like, we're tired.
We had been up since, I picked you and Max up at 6 a.m., so I was up at 4:30.
And you did all the driving, so.
Yeah, I was ready for a nap by the time we got to my dad's. I think everybody was ready for a nap by that time.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Except for Cody and Mike.
Well, yeah.
They're weird.
We went to one of the local breweries down the street.
Flyway?
Yeah, had some lunch. Well, late lunch. A couple beers. Came back to the house. Took some naps.
Then went to Starbucks.
And then went to the ramp.
What time was it? We went to Starbucks. It was like 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah. That's not a big deal, though.
And Mike and Cody were like, why are you getting Starbucks this late? Well, because we're still tired.
Yep. Well, and also, too, I was like, okay, my blood type is coffee, so like I can drink coffee at like 10 o'clock at night, and I'm fine. So we stopped at Starbucks, got coffee, and then went to the ramp. And it was already pretty warm that day. They had the little roll-up doors open, and they had the fans going, but it was still very hot. That ramp was really cool. It was the first time, technically the second time I'd been on a different vert ramp other than HVR. So it was kind of neat because I was starting to get exposed to other vert ramps. You got to kind of learn the rhythm of each one, and the skate surface is always different than what you're used to. I was only dropping in at the time because, again, we went in, was it the beginning of May?
It was
in June. And I had just started skating in February, so I learned how to drop in at Moxie West. I dropped in on the Animal Chin because Miguel had a class, and I was able to do it there. So then when I got back to HVR, I tried to do a drop in at HVR, and it was bad. That was my bad bail.
I saw that one in episode 2.
Yes. Yep.
So if you didn't see that, go back and watch episode 2, and you'll see what she's talking about.
On YouTube, yep. My confidence was still shattered as far as stand dropping in. So I was just sit dropping in. But it was cool. I mean, there were a bunch of skateboarders there, and we were the only roller skaters, right? There was a rollerblader.
Karma came down, but she was only there for an hour or so.
Mhm. And she got there before we got there. So by the time we got there, they were getting ready to leave.
Because I think that was on the Saturday. So we got there Friday afternoon. On Saturday, we went and skated Canis in the morning. Karma was out there with a bunch of other people. And they all went to 30 ramp right after that session. I think we got to 30 ramp at like 4:30 or 5, and they were ready to go.
Yeah.
Because we left Canis around 1 or something.
Mm-hmm. We also went to Brenham last year. We took a day trip out to Brenham. So we loaded up the Land Rover and went out there. It's a 6 foot with a like 1.5 or 2 foot mini on top of the deck, and then an 8 foot vert with pool coping. And it's out in the middle of a cow pasture. That was a good time. That was when I got over my fear of pool coping.
So if you want to hear more about that trip, I think we talked about it in episode 2.
Mm-hmm.
So again, go back and listen.
Thanks to our fans who've been listening every time we drop an episode. We appreciate it.
We really do. And we see y'all. I'd like to talk about Woodward East. I know you haven't been to Woodward East. Mm-hmm. We should definitely take a trip there. They have a mini mega. It's the original Woodward. They have so much. If you think Woodward West is big, Woodward East is even bigger. They also have a tiny little street course. It's the cutest little thing. All the obstacles are different colors. Mm-hmm. It's like at the bottom of the hill. Every obstacle is a different, it's very colorful, but it's tiny obstacles. Like you have a tiny little triangle, or you have a little bitty platform, or all these things. It's really cool. Oh, the rails. Each rail is different. They have this little go over semicircle rail. I don't know.
Like a rainbow?
Weird. It's, I think at Bergside here in Houston, they have one of those ish. They also have hangars, warehouses, probably like 6 or 7 of them that are each one is a different skate park, and they're all massive.
That's cool.
They also have the outdoor skate parks, 6 or 7 of those, each its own skate park. They have one that's like a double, it's really, really wide, and it's double minis with spine in between. Of course, when I was there, I wasn't able to, I could skate it, but I wasn't going over spines or anything. I want to go back so bad.
Okay.
I really want to ride that mini mega. There's a whole lot of other stuff there too. They have vert ramps, and they have a foam pit instead of an airbag. But it's still fun. They had a skate park in Orlando. I don't remember what it was called, but it's closed now. So I went to Orlando in October. I think that particular skate park, everybody knew it was going to close. I think it closed a month later. They had a foam pit. I almost landed some things that I had landed on the airbag. I'm trying to do those kind of things at Easy 7 because it's almost essentially the same thing. You're just not going into foam or an airbag.
That's where you did the cool, you rode up the ramp and you hit the tree and bounced off, right?
That was at a skate park called Candyland, which I thought was really cool. They have a pump track, some DIY stuff. They have this really tiny mini. It's smaller than even Eastwood. It's the same height, but shorter. So it's real fast. It's so small. It's a very sporadic skate park. It's like somebody who didn't know anything about skating put it together. But then there's some DIY stuff, and then the pump track, which we had a blast on that pump track. It's a really small pump track, which makes it a little bit faster. And some of the corners, when I first started riding it, I was going one direction, and I kept hitting this one corner, and it would just throw me into the rocks. And I'm like, okay, this is stupid. So I turned around and went the other direction. Kind of threw me a little bit off the track, but not so far off that I couldn't keep going. Like I would get like half a skate off. So it was a little easier. And then I got used to doing it. We need a pump track in Houston.
I was gonna say, I know there's one in Austin. I would like to visit it. I've never been on a pump track before. They look really fun. I mean, I'm sure it's a lot of work, but it looks really fun.
It is a lot of work. It's a really good workout. Taylor, Texas, the skate park in Taylor, is designed where you can ride it as a pump track. Like you can go around the entire thing as if it was a pump track, but you can also ride it as just you're launching stuff or doing errors or whatever, different stuff. You can throw tricks. That's a very interesting skate park. We need to take a trip out there.
Yeah, I would like to try that too. That looks really fun. Wasn't that built by Evergreen Skate Parks or something like that?
Somebody I have no idea. I don't know who builds any of the skate parks. That's a Cody question.
Okay. I'm pretty sure it's Evergreen.
He's got all the specs on who's done what, where, and...
That's true. He is like a walking encyclopedia for skate parks.
I have also been... Okay, so going back to Woodward West, I've actually gone out to California a couple of times. I've skated out there. The first time I went out there, I skated with Ngazi. Hi, Ngazi. I miss you. Come skate with us this year.
Yes.
I don't know if I'm going to make it out to California this year at any time. But
come to Bangor in the Hangar in November.
Yes, come to Bangor. We want you to come to Bangor. When I went out there to skate with Ngazi the first time, we went to Venice and Green and Houghton. I know there was more. I just can't remember the names. And then when we went to Woodward West, we hit Venice again. I don't think I skated at Venice. I think I was way too tired to skate at Venice. Went to LV. Okay, that's another one that I went to with Ngazi. Linda Vista in San Diego. Tried. Every time I go out to California, Claremont is closed. Claremont, stop closing when I'm out there. They're always closed because they're always doing some sort of maintenance every single time I go out there. And it's always like the next weekend that they reopen. I really want to skate Claremont, but they're always closed.
So it sounds like what you need to do is you need to check their schedule and plan around them instead of them planning around you.
Well, it's kind of hard to do that when I'm going out there for specific events. The events need to plan around when Claremont is open.
There you go.
I go down to San Diego to skate LV and Claremont. There's a couple of other parks. I skated this one little park that's really close to the beach down in San Diego. Everything was really mellow. I remember, that's about the only thing I remember about that park. I don't remember what I did there, how long we were there. Everything looked really old and it was very crunchy and the coping was very rusty. It's like between the bay and the ocean, like you could see, the bay was literally right here. And you could see the ocean off in the distance, but it wasn't like real far away. I could see why that would be all crunchy and rusty and stuff.
Air and...
On that same trip from Woodward West, me and Leanne went out to Van Skate Park in Huntington Beach. They have a 10-foot vert ramp in the back, which I could have skated. You have to be on a list to skate that thing, but I could have gotten on the list pretty easily, but I was so tired I didn't want to. Which I think is kind of stupid. I know the ramp belongs to Christian Hosoi and it's back there, but you have the Combi Bowl, which is a concrete vert bowl, and you have to be on the list to ride the vert ramp. I didn't skate in the Combi Bowl. I was so tired. I skated just one bowl because we had done all weekend at Moxie West, and then me and Leanne had driven from Tehachapi all the way down to San Diego and skated there for a day, maybe two. I can't remember how long we were there. And then on our way back up, we stopped at Huntington Beach. I was exhausted. We went from Huntington Beach, we stayed at a hotel. We stayed in Venice? No, in Malibu. I don't remember where we stayed, but then the next morning we got up and I just left my skates at the hotel. I was like, I am not my legs are too tired. I am not skating today. And then we went out to Venice and I was like, I wish I had brought my skates.
Oh.
But I knew that if I had brought my skates, I would have skated and that wouldn't have been it wouldn't have been any kind of good skating and I'd have just been exhausted.
Was it really busy when you guys went out there?
It wasn't too busy because we went like a little earlier in the morning.
Okay.
And then later on, like after we left there, like we walked down the board. It's not really a boardwalk. It's just the sidewalk that they have on the beach. You know, they have all the shops and stuff. Apparently there's some sort of gym out there where Arnold Schwarzenegger used to work out. And I had no idea that this existed.
Oh.
Yeah. It's some famous
The
on the
Muscle Beach?
Yes.
Muscle Beach.
That's it. I had no idea that existed.
Yeah.
I didn't know what it was, and Leanne was all like, "Oh yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger used to work out here," and I'm just like, "There are an awful lot of meatheads over here." I was just like, these dudes are like massive.
Yeah, they're all like bodybuilder guys.
Yes. I had no idea that existed. Then they have the basketball courts down, and everything down there is just so popular.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all like famous stuff that I didn't realize it was all together in one spot.
Mm-hmm.
I've skated Las Vegas. I've skated. Okay, this is going to sound really sad. So I'm from Tennessee, Clarksville specifically. It's 45 minutes north of Nashville. I go home occasionally, but since I started skating, I've been skating since 2016.
Okay.
I think I've only gone home like maybe twice since I started skating. Maybe 3 times. I have only skated one park in Nashville, and that was only this last time that I went home, which was Christmas 2022.
Okay.
And I skated
really cool.
6th Avenue. Of course, it was also so cold that there was no way you could skate outside. But I skated 6th Avenue in Nashville. It's a neat little park. It's indoors,
Okay.
but it's not like Southside. It is air conditioned and heated.
We've skated a lot of California. The only skate park I've been to in California was Redlands, which is east of LA, like 2 hours. I went out there for a work trip in 2020, right before the pandemic, and brought my skates and met up with a friend who is now my boyfriend. And he took me out there and skated. I was the only roller skater there. There was one rollerblader that I met, but the skateboarders all looked at me like, ugh, who is this kid? You know, like, whatever, why is she here? And then I dropped in the bowl and started doing some stuff. I wasn't doing anything impressive, but they were all blown away, so it made me feel really cool. They have like they have a deep bowl, they have a good street section with a bunch of banks, and then it starts out really shallow. It's kind of like a semicircle half pipe, maybe 3 or 4 feet, and then it's like a snake, and it snakes into a deep area. I'd like to do some more skate parks over there. There's some pretty good ones in that area. Like I know Fontana is having their April Fool's Day there for April 1st. They're having like a big skate competition thing out there.
I think I saw that on
Yep.
Instagram.
Yeah, that skate park looks pretty cool. I'd like to try that one day.
By the way, this is airing after that, so.
Yep.
Wait, that's today.
Today, yeah.
We're recording on April Fool's Day.
Yeah. April Fools. As far as other places I've been, the only other skate place I've been has been when we took the road trip out to Austin to go skate Isaac's backyard vert ramp.
Since we've talked about all the places we've been, I think I've talked about all the places I've been. If I missed something, oh well, it's because, brain doesn't work the same as it used to. And the coffee is not working, apparently, except to make it run really fast. We have some tips, things that we have learned along the way traveling with our skates. Let's talk about airport travel.
So you can fly with your skates.
Yes.
I think of it as, okay, sometimes airlines like to lose luggage. I do not want to lose any of my skate gear because it's expensive to replace. So if I travel with my skates, I'll pack all of my gear in a backpack, and then I have my skates on a skate leash. So my backpack is my carry-on, my skates are my personal item.
So I do it a little bit differently. I only carry on my skates because my gear, whatever, as long as I have my skates, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
If I need some gear, I can go replace it at a Walmart or something, or find a skate shop and get some good stuff, or wait till I get back and get the good stuff, depending on what I'm going to skate. So I have my normal carry-on, which I put my skates in because they'll fit. If I'm taking just a weekend trip, I don't check anything. You can have a carry-on and a personal item, and a backpack can be your personal item, which means you can put in my carry-on, all of my gear will fit along with my skates, but that's all I don't want to put my clothes in there because my gear
stinky,
stinks.
Yeah.
And I don't want that stench getting on my clothes.
Mm-hmm.
So then I'll pack a backpack that has whatever clothes I'm going to wear.
Clothes and toiletries.
And maybe, I usually wear the same pair of shoes because normally when I travel, I don't plan on doing anything fancy. So I don't pack fancy shoes or fancy clothes. I'm the lightest packer in the world.
Yeah.
I literally pack like an hour before I have to leave my house. It's like, okay, this pair of pants, this shirt, this pair of pants, this shirt, these socks. Okay, I have enough underwear and everything.
Not me.
I pack extremely light.
I'm a planner. I make a list. I'm OCD enough that I make a list of like whatever I'm doing on that trip. I plan it out by day, and then I figure out like what I'm gonna wear. I usually pack stuff where I can kind of mix and match depending on the weather, depending on whatever. But I'll actually look at the weather, like what the weather's gonna be.
I do that.
I plan it all out that way. But I really like using those little packing cubes too because you can fit more. So you can have a couple of different, like maybe 2 outfit choices per day and still get it all packed. Last year when I went to a wedding in France. So we flew over to London for like a night and then went to the French countryside, stayed in the castle. It was gorgeous. We went to Ireland and then back to London, and the Queen had died. So I ended up getting stuck in London for extra. But I was really proud of myself. I packed everything in a small rolling carry-on, and then I had a roll-up duffel bag that actually unzips into a garment bag, so you can put like your dresses and stuff and then zip it all up into a duffel. And I fit everything for basically 2 weeks, including the evening gown I wore to the wedding, a cocktail dress, and a bunch of other stuff, because we were in a French castle. We were bougie. So I was really proud of myself. I packed really well for that. One thing I'm excited though, as far as like for skate trips, there is out in Austin, a company, the Skate Kit. It's a backpack that you can actually pack your skates into. In the front there's like a little opening with elastic and stuff, and she tested it out to where you can fit like big men's skates, and I went ahead and ordered one of those from her Kickstarter. I think they're in production right now and they should be arriving soon, and I'm excited to try it out and use it.
I saw those and I thought about ordering one. I wonder if I should go ahead and do that just to test it out.
Right now it's just lavender and black bags.
Well, lavender is right up my alley.
That's what I bought. But yeah, it's great. Like it's got like a water bottle pocket on the outside. It's got another pocket on the outside. On the inside, there's a laptop sleeve and a bunch of little pockets. Once that comes in, I'll start using that for skate trips and see how it goes. So I just wanted to plug the Skate Kit bag. It looks really cool.
So
and also she tested it. She put it on a skateboard and made it drop into a ramp to test the wear and tear on it. Going back to airports though, you can roller skate in the airport. The tip for that is you want to go through security first before you put your skates on. Most airports, I think there's been enough roller skating now that like airports are kind of used to it, but you should always kind of check which airport you're going to. You want to check the surface of the floor. So like obviously you don't want to go to Portland and then try to skate there because they have the famous carpet that everyone takes pictures with. It's carpeted in a lot of areas, and so that sucks to skate on. So if you decide to put your skates on after you go through security, just remember low and slow. Take it slow, keep a low profile, don't go out there and showboat, don't zigzag through pedestrians because that will definitely get you on the radar of security, and they will ask you to take your skates off. As long as you go in with like the mindset of like, hey, I'm just gonna cruise to my gate, I'm not gonna do anything fancy, then you should be fine. Or if you want to wait till you get to your gate and then put your skates on and try doing like dance skating, like that works too. So now road trips.
Yes, road trips. So if you're planning a road trip, whether it be like a 7-hour trip like when we went to Little Rock, or a trip that's going to take several days, and you want to make it a skate trip, it's a good idea to skate park hop. I know between here and Little Rock, there is one skate park in Livingston, it's like one little mini ramp. And then there's Texarkana, which has 1 or 2 skate parks, and then you get to Little Rock. So you can skate park hop and do like 30-minute skate here, 30-minute skate there. It's a really good way to break up a road trip. I personally don't like breaking up a road trip unless I plan on breaking up a road trip. Kate knows I don't like to stop. I started a Google Maps list, which has skate parks literally all over the world. I've like scoured Instagram and Facebook and all the things, like when people post what skate park they're at, I've gone in there, found it on the map, and added it to my Google list. And I think there's over 700 parks now on it.
Yeah.
If you want that skate park list, send me a DM, email Tales from the Coping. Just contact us in some way, and I can send you the link. We keep adding to it. Kate's been adding to it. I haven't added to it in a little while because everybody's replacing tagging where they're at with the music that's on the reel.
True.
It's a little harder to find the different skate parks now. We're still putting stuff on there if we can. It's very extensive too. Some of the smallest things, DIYs, all kinds of stuff.
Which that's good to do anyway. Like if you're going to be going somewhere, a lot of times I'll do that. I'll go to Google Maps and I'll do the satellite view so I can kind of see what it looks like. Because a lot of times, like Google Maps, there's not a lot of pictures necessarily, or it's just like a picture of a skateboarder doing a trick at the park. Like you don't want to see that. You want to see what the bowl looks like. So the satellite view is great for that.
I've done that several times.
And based on the shadow of where the sun is, you can tell how deep it is, sort of.
Also, if you're traveling somewhere, before you get there, if you know you're traveling there in 2 or 3 weeks, get in touch with the local CIB in the area. They usually answer pretty quickly. I know here in Houston, it gets answered within 24 hours. I have messaged some where they didn't get back with me for a couple of weeks. Just depends on how often whoever's running the page is looking at it. It is a good reference, especially in bigger cities. You're more likely to get someone to answer you. And they can be a good reference. They can either refer you to local skaters who are skating all the time. They can tell you about any meetups they have. They can tell you about any other skate groups in the area. They're even good if you want to find a rink or just a flat place to skate. Anything like that. Good trails. You want to get out there and skate a trail. They're a good source for that. So the local CIB chapter of wherever you're going to, get in touch with them. They can tell you all of the skate stuff in the area. If
for some reason that doesn't work, you can also look around for skate shops in the area, message them and ask them. Even if it's skateboarding, they'll, if it's only skateboarders in the area, no roller skaters, they'll still be able to tell you what parks are good and stuff like that. I like doing that because if you message a CIB chapter, there's a potential that you end up making new friends. You have a skate buddy. Like I've said in previous episodes, I don't like to skate by myself. It's just not fun for me. I'd rather be with somebody. So that's really cool because then, you get exposure to different skaters and you get to make new friends. We have a couple of skaters coming in from out of town. We have one from Colombia and one from Mexico. I think their travels are overlapping. So they may be here at the same time, which would be pretty awesome to unite two skaters from different countries that have happen to be in Houston at the same time. Yeah. That would be cool. And then skate with all the Houston skaters. Yes. So that's a good way to find skate buddies. Also, when you take a road trip or if you're flying, hydrate. That's very important. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. In the air, you dehydrate quicker for whatever reason. I don't know. I don't know the science behind it. I'm sure I have the science behind it somewhere in my head, but it's not working right now. Damn coffee. It's the coffee and the mixture with my allergies are slowing down everything. It's bad. We're in allergy season. It's terrible. Hopefully it'll be over soon because it started early. So it's not as bad as it was last year. I've been really keeping up with putting honey in my tea every day. I did run out of honey 2 days ago. Uh-oh. So on my way home today, I'm stopping at the guy on the side of the road. That sounds legit. It is. It's local honey. Oh, okay. Yeah, when it's the guy on the side of the road, it's local honey. Okay. And it's pretty funny because, so he also sells shrimp. So he puts the label of the shrimp on the honey, and so it's Garcia's shrimp. It's Garcia's shrimp honey. There is no shrimp in the honey, but it's pretty funny. I've had several comments on it being Garcia's shrimp honey. So hydrate, definitely.
I think that's the only other tip I have is just hydrate. Because you don't realize, even when you're sitting in a car driving for several hours, you don't realize that your body is really getting rid of water. And I think there's a good rule of thumb that I heard somewhere that if you take a sip of water every 15 minutes, it'll keep your hydration. So it won't like extra hydrate you, but it'll keep you at the status that you've been. I try to do that sometimes when I think about it. Like when I come over here to record these episodes, I'm like, oh, sip. It takes me about 45 minutes to get over here. So that's 3 sips of water. I even stopped this morning. I left the house at 9 o'clock and I stopped. Somehow I managed to get here. I was here 5 minutes before I texted you. I was just in your driveway looking at Instagram.
And you were here 15 minutes early. Yeah.
I was like, Kate's going to kill me if I'm too early.
I figured out that if Lynette is not 15 minutes early, she thinks she's late. And I run 15 minutes behind. It doesn't work out very well, but oh well. We'll get better at it. I'll get better about being on time, and you can get better about also being on time. So
I have tried to make myself late. It doesn't work.
The first time she came over super early, she's like, "You're not ready?" And I was like, "Excuse me." I was like, "A queen is never late. Everyone else is simply early." That's a Princess Diaries quote, by the way.
All right, so now, where do you want to go?
Where would I like to travel for skate? Definitely Skate Laborious is on my list. That's in St. Louis, the church that's been turned into a skate park. That looks really cool.
That's also on my bucket list.
Yes. I definitely would like to visit Venice. I don't know if I'd be brave enough to skate there, depending on how busy it is.
It's really not that bad.
Okay.
I'd
like to do it just because it's like one of those spots that's instantly recognizable. It looks really fun. Obviously, that section of California is very roller skate friendly because there are so many roller skaters out there.
So going to Venice, I would say go in the morning. Like before 10 o'clock, there's really not very many people. People really start to come in around 10, 11 o'clock.
Yeah, lunchtime.
It's still not that bad though. It's not as bad as people make it out to be.
It just always looks really busy. So I'm like,
It looks really busy because you got all those people like on the outside watching. It's not too bad.
Yeah, that would definitely be something I'd work on with as far as confidence goes to go skate there. I would like to try San Diego because of the different places you've mentioned.
Yes, Claremont is still on my bucket list.
The Van skate park looks really cool there.
There's a mega ramp out there too. Not at Claremont, but somewhere in California.
Okay.
There's a mega ramp.
I wouldn't mind going up to the Pacific Northwest, like Seattle, Portland area. Both of those cities, I think, have like really cool skate spots. And a lot of their skate spots are covered because of the weather. That's something I wish that Texas would do more of. Like I know like in New Orleans, so one of the places I'd like to skate in New Orleans is Parasite, which is a DIY, and it's built underneath the freeway, which looks really cool. And I wish they would do more stuff like that here in Houston, or at least put covers over because it gets so hot.
I think there is a spot in Houston that is under the freeway. I saw somebody skating it in an Instagram. I can't remember who it was. Max or Richard or somebody was skating one that's underneath a freeway. So I need to find out where that's at. It's like a little DIY.
Another skate park I'd like to go to, I just found out about it, so I don't remember the name, but it's in Miami. Again, it's underneath an overpass. Nicole went there a couple weeks ago. It's pretty new. I think it's only been open maybe a year or so, maybe a little more than that. It's concrete. It's got a lot of really nice bowls, and there's a mini ramp too. It's really pretty, and it looks like it's kept up really well. I mean, it's like a local park or whatever, but there's no tagging on it anywhere. Like everybody keeps it really nice. So those are just a couple on my list. I mean, I'm sure there's more, but I can't think of any right now.
I know I have on my list Australia. They have quite a few vert skaters out there, and they have a nice vert ramp. I think New Zealand also has a vert ramp. Also, Mega Ranch, which is what is his name again? Kiefer Wilson. That's his mega ramp. Mega Ranch.
Okay.
Yeah. I found that out not too long ago. I was like, oh, so that's actually his. But yeah, I would like to go out there and skate Mega Ranch. And then they have a couple of vert ramps out there that I want to skate. And I'm sure there's quite a few parks. Like I know a few people, like I stay in contact with a few people who are out in New Zealand and Australia through Instagram. I'm going to make it over there one day. Let's Roll Coaching is out there. They like do skate lessons and stuff. And they actually do vert skate lessons over there. And they have a competition every year in February, I think. I didn't know about that until this last February, so maybe in 2025, because I have too many trips planned for 2024 already. But so maybe in 2025 I'll get out there.
I would like to go to Australia. However, I do not like spiders.
Oh, you'll be fine.
Have you seen the spiders that live there? Oh my god.
You'll be fine. I'm going to talk about the places I'm going in the events.
Right now, I don't have any major planned trips skating related. Last year was my big yes energy year, and so this year my bank account's like, oh, slow down, girl. Like, you need to face yourself. You went a little crazy last year, so I don't have very many trips planned that are skating related.
You do have a planned trip.
What?
May 20th.
Well, yes, but that's a local. But I mean, like,
well, it's Dallas.
no big trips. No like flying to go skate somewhere. The couple places I'm gonna go fly, it's gonna be for other things.
It counts.
What?
We're driving 3 hours away.
Oh, you mean for Dallas? Yes.
Yes.
No, that's technically the only skate trip I have planned right now.
Unless 30 Ramp decides to do their roundup again. In which case I'm gonna force you to go with me.
No, I wouldn't mind going back out to 30 Ramp. I really liked that ramp. I know Mike and Cody talked about possibly going out to King's Ramp, which is an Austin-ish area, right?
That's somewhere out.
It's somewhere near
country.
Austin. Yeah.
There's so much area out there. You got because you have Austin and San Antonio, which are really actually very close together. And there's San Marcos and all these other little areas.
Yeah. I mean, I have, as far as like other places I've skated, because my parents live up in the hill country, I have skated San Marcos. I have skated at New Braunfels. I like both. San Marcos has like one big pool that's kind of connected and it's got a spine. And then it has another area and they have like a whole street section. And then New Braunfels.
Is that Jaws?
That's in New Braunfels. Jaws is New Braunfels, which you've been to.
Jaws is San Marcos. Kate has found out that Jaws is in fact in New Braunfels. Although I felt like I didn't drive all the way up to New Braunfels for that. But the only time New Braunfels is where the Guadalupe River is, right?
Well, technically it's San Marcos too, but yeah. New Braunfels is more known for tubing. So here in Texas...
I think that's why I didn't recognize that it was New Braunfels then.
Yeah.
Because I'm used to going to the top of the river thing.
Okay. Yeah, and for those who aren't familiar, that's one of the big summertime activities in the hill country in Texas is people will go tube the river, meaning it's like an all-day thing.
You go float the river.
You go float the river. Yeah, there's like a lot. You can either bring your own tube or there's a lot of tube rental places. And it's basically you just float and drink like the whole day.
The only time I've ever done it was 2011, and that's when we had the big drought.
Oh, so it was really low.
The river was completely dry. We were carrying our tubes most of the time.
Oh, that sucks.
And I've not gone out there since.
Yeah, I've done it a couple times. There was one time when the river was really full and they didn't recommend people tube on it. So everyone was literally clustering their tubes. Like people were tying their tubes together and like tying to a tree and just sitting in one spot and just hanging out. So kind of like having a lake day, right? Where you go and like swim and drink stuff, and everybody just had like these little pods of tubes that everyone just like hung out with.
Only in Texas. I mean, I've never heard of this until I moved to Texas.
Yeah. Well, and also too, like, so San Marcos is a college town, and they also have the river that goes through. So there's tubing there too. But New Braunfels is more known for it because they have like a bunch of campgrounds and stuff that are there. So it's really fun. But yeah, so both locations have a skate park. Jaws Skate Park in New Braunfels has a couple of different pools, and then there's like this little snaky section, which is pretty cool. So I like both of them. They're pretty neat. Oh, one of the skate parks I forgot to mention I would like to try is Lockhart. That one looks really fun too. I have no idea
what that is.
That one's kind of sort of out that way too, but that one looks really cool too.
I have a lot of events for y'all. I'm going to talk about a few of them. Some of them I've already talked about. First, 8 Lives skate competition on April 15th, which is my birthday, by the way. If you go to their Instagram, 8 Lives skate, I think is what it is, or 8 Lives. It's 8 Lives something, the number 8 Lives. They're having a skate competition on April 15th. The Nelson ramp, this is in Virginia. They're having an opening of a new ramp. It's a skate park. So they're opening a new ramp and they're having a skate jam on April 22nd. Moxie Skate Camp West is April 21st through the 23rd. We keep talking about it. Go watch the first episode. Quad Cup, we also keep talking about that. April 28th through the 30th. New format, blah, blah, blah. Go watch episode 1 for that one too. Here in Houston, this one was just announced not too long ago. The Girls Roll on Wheels, or GROW, as they call it. I think this is their 3rd year that they're doing the skate jam. At Jamel Skate Park, they kick all the guys out, and it's just girls and women in there. It's to promote more girls skating. Mm-hmm. It's a really cool event. They have t-shirt giveaways, sticker giveaways. You can win prizes like skateboard decks, helmets. You can win more t-shirts too. It's really cool. It's for a good cause. Try and get more girls in the parks. So that's here April 29th at Jamel Skate Park. Moxie Skate Camp East is May 5th through the 7th. In Greece, yes, we're going worldwide. They are having Roller Jam, which I believe is a competition, May 5th to the 6th. So May 5th is like preliminaries, warm-up type, get used to the park. And May 6th is the actual competition. That's in Greece. It's called Roller Jam. Ramp and Roll in Colorado is a camp where they're doing roller skates, jam skating, I think skateboard, and something else. I can't remember what the other thing is. That's May 12th through the 14th in Colorado. It's called Ramp and Roll. Roller Movement, put on by Two Tias in Virginia. It's a jam skating class, and that's May 13th. They're doing an hour to an hour and a half class. So go look at Two Tia's page, it's there. On May the 20th in Dallas, Brain Freeze Skate Wax is doing their 1-year anniversary skate meetup. And that's on May 20th. That's what we'll be at. Eventually we'll find out which skate park. Also in Dallas, the next weekend is the Summer Slam. So it's May 26th and 27th. On the 26th, they're doing skate demos at 4 Down. I'll be participating in the vert demo. On the 27th, they're having the competition, which is at Alliance Skate Park. Yes, Alliance Skate Park. They do street and mini ramp. I think that's the only 2 categories. But they do different levels also. It's beginner, intermediate, and advanced. Hopefully, some of y'all will come out for that and register to compete. So look at CIB DFW's page. They should be making announcements here soon, if they haven't already. Going worldwide again. Belgium, the Oh My Quad competition on May 28th. If you are going to be over there, or if you're listening to us overseas, go to Belgium, Oh My Quad. I believe their Instagram is ohmyquad_Belgium. Jackalope Fest, which I believe I'm going to be at this. I'm 85% sure I'm going to be there. So Jackalope Fest it's a whole bunch of different extreme sports that they're doing demos. And one of the demos they're doing is a vert demo. Tony Hawk and a few other people are going to be doing that demo. They also have it open on the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday mornings from 8 to 10, where you can buy the skate pass, which I think is 20 or 25 bucks, and skate the vert ramp. But you only have those 2 hours. And I'm planning on being there at least for the vert part. But they have rock climbing and I don't even remember what else. But it's a whole bunch of extreme sports stuff that you can go and watch. And they might have things that you can participate in the other sports. I'm not really sure. But that's June 2nd through the 4th. The Skate Safari has been moved. It's now June 3rd. Everything we've told you about that is still happening, just on June 3rd, because I think it was supposed to be March. I think it was supposed to be in March originally. So here's another one overseas, and this is one that I'm going to. Blading Camp. If you haven't heard of it, they do different camps all summer long. It's for rollerblades and quads. I am going specifically for Quad Week, which is in August. I think it's like August 14th through something. I can't remember exactly, but I am going to Quad Week. You can get your tickets if you look at Blading Camp's Instagram. They have tickets for sale for all of the different weeks, not just Quad Week. I think Bomba, Ragnarol, Kate Skates, and a few others are going to be there coaching. You stay in this nice house that's like on a cliff overlooking the ocean. All meals are planned for. There's cliff diving, there's skating, there's all kinds of stuff that they're doing. And it's a week-long event. Blading Camp, look them up. I'll be there for Quad Week if anybody wants to come and skate with me. Then in France, if anybody has ever watched, I've kept track of this one for several years now, the Nantes Roller Festival. It is a competition. Bomba and Ragnarol regularly skate it. They also regularly win it. Mm-hmm. It's a little competition in France. It's October 6th through the 8th in Nantes, France. We have our favorite. What's our favorite, Kate?
Banger in the Hanger.
November 9th through the 12th. Mark your calendars. Everybody who's watching this should be here for that because we're giving you plenty of time. 4 Down has their, if you go to their page, you can look up, I think it's every Wednesday, they do a volunteer day, volunteer and skate. They may do a Saturday, Sunday, something like that. And then Skate Laborious is it's the first and third Sunday. So the first and third Sunday, volunteer and skate. And that's what I have for events. Do you want to talk about the drive?
Yes. So I am part of the Drive Clothing. You can shop through my link, thedriveclothing.com/altercation1053. They have a lot of really cool graphic tees. They also have athletic wear for women and men. They now have cool things like sunglasses. So I got a pair of sunglasses. They have a bunch of different styles too. They have like the really fun, I guess, like a lot of BMXers will wear them. They kind of look like ski goggles to me. So they have that. They're going to come out with swimsuits. They have a bunch of stuff that's set to come out for like the summertime. It's kind of still in the planning stages right now. But so you can shop there. Every weekend they do a weekend release. So they'll release limited edition designs, and everything's 25% off for the whole weekend. And then they always do other sales, like they do buy one get one free hoodies, or buy 2 graphic tees, tanks or crops, and get the third one for free. So you can find the link in my bio, or just go to thedriveclothing.com/altercation1053.
And I just received all my 2TIAs stuff.
Yes.
So I now have a 2TIAs shirt that has my name on it and it says 2TIAs Skate Team. They also sent me some pins that I can put on my vest, some stickers. They have a bunch of stuff you can go and shop for. 2tiaskate.com. Shout out to Missy and Icebox. I really enjoy being on the team. They're really cool. And they have a lot of really cute stuff. Yes, mugs. They have mugs and other household items too. Bags, tote bags, and they have a duffel bag, like a skate duffel bag. And then, of course, we've already mentioned Old Bones. Mm-hmm. Thank you for all the awesome stuff.
Yes.
The shirt, I don't know if we pointed out, but
dad shirts.
Our shirts have little skulls on them and bones. It's really cool.
Very cool. So don't forget to like, subscribe,
comment, follow us on Spotify too. Mm-hmm. If you're listening on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. If you're listening to on Spotify, give us a follow, give us a rating, and also we usually have a question that's like, how did you enjoy this episode? So go in there and fill it out. Let us know what you think. Mm-hmm.
Also, if you have any kind of topics that you would like us to talk about, anything you're interested in, you can always email us. It's talesfromthecoping@gmail.com.
Please do. We want to know what you think, and we want to know what you want to hear about. So let us know.
Yeah.
I think that's it for this episode.
Yeah, that's it. So, bye.
See y'all later. Bye.